Another thing that is very interesting in dependency court, people don't understand versus criminal court, and I'd like you to discuss it, is if you're accused of, say, physical abuse, you're accused of hitting your son or daughter with a belt and it leaves a bruise, say, on their butt, right? In You can also be prosecuted criminally, right, at the same time for child abuse, right?
Yes, of course.
And in criminal court, you have to have 12 jurors find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. It has to be unanimous, right?
Yes, yes,
But
exactly.
why don't you explain how the major
So,
difference in dependency court?
right. When you're looking at criminal, that's the highest standard that we have in terms of burden of proof. In dependency, we're talking about a single judge making that determination, and there's a lowered standard. So it's not the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. It's what's called the preponderance of the evidence. So is it more likely than not that something happened? And that's what a judge is going to decide in dependency court. Now, it's interesting. I think what you brought up is a really common situation for what we see in dependency court, which is parental discipline and how far can that go. And so dependency court, it's not 100% that you could never spank your child, or you can never use any kind of corporal discipline on your child. But the important thing is to look at all the surrounding circumstances. Is it something that's not excessive? Is it something that a parent is doing to properly discipline a child instead of something that's out of anger? So we do get a lot of those cases where they're making the allegations of improper corporal discipline. And in some cases, we are able to show the social worker that this was really something that a parent was using to try to properly discipline their child. And maybe in the future, they're going to use non-physical means and things like that to get a good outcome for the parent.
In some of the cases like this, the cases where we're most successful is where you have an incorrigible child who's very difficult to control, and you can show that the parents have consulted a therapist, have consulted the teacher, and have gone through a series of disciplinary steps before getting a belt on them, versus a parent who hasn't done that and just gets pissed off at their kid and just whoops them, right?
I think that's the big difference. Are you going through steps to try to discipline the child? Is this the last resort? And is this something where it's not that they're doing it out of being angry? And those cases will get better results for the parents.